Hello Days fans, and welcome back to another jaw-dropping breakdown of what's coming next in Days of Our Lives. Buckle up, because we're diving into a bombshell that could shatter relationships, ignite old flames, and send shockwaves through Salem. The headline? Sarah's world may be destroyed again, this time, by Gwen's baby bomb and Xander's terrifying next move. Let's unravel this explosive storyline and explore what it could mean for Xander, Sarah, Gwen, and baby Victoria's future. Once upon a time, not so long ago, it felt like Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton were finally turning a corner. After enduring betrayal, heartbreak, and emotional warfare, there was a brief moment of peace, a fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, they could rebuild. And central to that hope? The idea of having another baby, a new beginning. Xander spoke from the heart. He envisioned a family that wasn't just held together by obligation or guilt, but by love, growth, and second chances. Little Victoria Kyriakis would have a sibling, a lifelong companion. And Sarah? She'd have the full, healed version of the man she once loved. But dreams can shatter fast in Salem. That tender vision collapsed when Xander discovered Sarah's role in covering up the forged letter, a betrayal he saw as deeply personal. And worse, his violent attack on Philip reawakened every fear Sarah had ever buried about his temper, his impulses, his capacity for destruction. Now, that future Xander dreamed of, the happy chaos of a growing family, feels like a cruel joke. But here's the twist. That conversation about a second child might not be over. It might simply be moving in a darker, more dangerous direction, one Xander never intended. And just as Xander and Sarah's world begins to crumble, who should waltz back into Salem but the one woman guaranteed to pour gasoline on the fire? Gwen Ryacek. Her timing is no accident. Gwen never operates on chance. She smells blood in the water, and she's circling her prey. Xander is vulnerable, isolated, and burning with disappointment. In Gwen's eyes, that's not a tragedy. That's an opportunity. She doesn't bother with subtlety. Her return isn't shy or apologetic, it's provocative. One lingering glance across the room, one innocent brush of the hand, and suddenly she's back in his orbit like she never left. But this time, Gwen is playing to win. She's not just reminding Xander of what they had. She's dangling the idea of something easier, something less complicated. A version of love where he's never judged, never criticized, never asked to change. Because here's the cold truth. Gwen accepts Xander's darkness. Where Sarah wanted to redeem him, Gwen reveled in his flaws. She doesn't need the reformed man. She craves the chaotic one, the one who lies, fights, and burns bridges. And that's what makes her dangerous. Not just to Sarah, but to Xander's own sense of who he wants to be. So now, the tension builds to a boiling point. Xander's loyalty is being tested in the most brutal way possible. He's been rejected by the woman he wanted to build a future with. He's been reminded, violently, of everything he's done wrong. And now, here's Gwen, whispering forgiveness, offering connection, tempting him with the fantasy that he's not beyond saving, just misunderstood. In the beginning, Xander will resist. He'll tell himself it's a mistake. That Gwen is just a distraction. That his heart still belongs to Sarah. But pain doesn't play fair. And Xander is not a man known for his restraint. The more Sarah pulls away, the louder Gwen's voice becomes. She'll offer him comfort, acceptance, even passion, things he hasn't felt in weeks. She'll stroke his ego and feed his loneliness, until one night, it all becomes too much. And when that moment comes, will he give in out of lust? Despair? Revenge? Or worst of all, will he convince himself it's a kind of love? Because if Xander falls into Gwen's arms again, it won't just be a one-night mistake. It could be the start of a full-blown relapse into everything he swore he'd left behind. And that might be the final nail in the coffin of any hope left for him and Sarah. Now let's dive into the most explosive possibility of all, one that could tear apart lives and rewrite every relationship in its path. What if Gwen is pregnant with Xander's child? This isn't just a hypothetical, it's a looming storm. Because Gwen knows exactly how to manipulate timing, and if she shares a bed with Xander again, something that seems increasingly inevitable, the consequences won't just be emotional. They'll be biological. Just picture the setting. Xander and Sarah are finally starting to heal. After weeks, months, of heartbreak and anger, they begin to rediscover each other. A smile here, a hand on the shoulder there, and then, maybe, a kiss. It's delicate, tentative, but real. They begin to believe that forgiveness might be possible. Then suddenly, everything comes crashing down. Gwen walks in with a bombshell no one saw coming. She's pregnant. And the father? Xander. The same man Sarah was just beginning to trust again. The same man she once dreamed of building a future with. This isn't just another setback. It's a dagger to the heart. Because for Sarah, this isn't just about betrayal. It's about humiliation. It's about watching her once loving husband now bound, forever, to a woman who nearly tore her apart emotionally not so long ago. And for Xander, it's a cruel twist of fate. The baby he longed for might arrive, but with the wrong woman, at the worst possible time. A pregnancy like this isn't just a personal crisis. It's a seismic shockwave that will ripple through the entire town of Salem. Let's break it down. First, Sarah. She's a woman who has endured too much already. Lies, deceit, violence. Now she's expected to stand by while the man she loves has a child with her nemesis? That might be too much, even for her unshakable spirit. Would she walk away for good this time? Would she take Victoria and disappear to protect her heart, and her daughter, from further pain? Then, there's Victoria, still just a child, innocent and unaware. But as she grows, will she be caught in the crossfire of a fractured family? Will she be forced to share her father with a half-sibling born from heartbreak and betrayal? And how will that shape her future? And finally, Xander. He might try to do the right thing. He might step up, support Gwen, and care for the child. But at what cost? Would it mean sacrificing his last chance at a real life with Sarah? And let's not pretend Gwen will take the high road. She's smart, calculated, she's been underestimated before, and that's always when she's most dangerous. If she is carrying Xander's baby, she won't just use that child as leverage. She'll use it as a lifeline, a way to tether herself to Xander, whether he wants that or not. And in the world of Days of Our Lives, nothing creates chaos faster than a manipulative mother to be with something to prove. And now, we arrive at the question that no one wants to ask. Is this the final nail in the coffin for Xander and Sarah? For so long, we've watched them dance between love and disaster. Two souls bound by deep affection and deeper scars. Sarah has forgiven him for so many things. The lies, the violence, the secrets. She gave him her heart, and he broke it. More than once. But she kept coming back, because love, in its truest form, is stubborn. It hopes. It heals. It holds on, even when logic says to let go. But a child with Gwen? That's not a mistake. That's not something a couple can simply move past. It's a living, breathing reminder of infidelity and shattered trust. A permanent presence in their lives that will always stand between them. Even if Xander begs for forgiveness. Even if he swears it meant nothing. Even if he insists it was just one night of weakness. The damage is done. Sarah may still love him, but love has limits. And sometimes, those limits arrive in the form of a baby, born into a storm of regret. So the question becomes, can love survive when it's constantly tested? Can forgiveness endure betrayal that never seems to end? Or is this the moment when Sarah finally says, enough? Days of Our Lives is steering toward another emotional catastrophe, and it all hinges on three people caught in a cycle of love, loss, and self-destruction. Will Xander fall back into his darkest patterns with Gwen? Will Sarah find the strength to walk away for good, or be pulled back into the chaos? And if a baby is on the horizon, will Salem ever be the same? This storyline is simmering now, but the explosion is coming, and when it does, no one will walk away unscathed. What do you think? Is Gwen faking it? Will Xander make the same mistakes again? And does Sarah deserve better? Let us know your theories in the comments. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the heartbreak, betrayal, and bombshells from Days of Our Lives. Thanks for watching and stay tuned because Salem's storm is just beginning.